Hey everyone, Ryan from Bolin Development here, and I'm excited to share my first installment of what I've been reading lately for July 2022. Today's book is a special one because it combines all of the things that I like to do on my channel here. And if you go and watch my video why I decided to get an ADHD test at 31 years old, you'll hear me talk about in that story how basically in August of 2021 I was hospitalized for a stress-related incident and basically had to come to terms with the fact that I needed to change some things in my life. And so I sat down and decided that a hobby I would really like to pick up was wood carving. And in doing so, I was like, well, I want to get started with this, but I don't know anything about it. And so I turned to Twitch, I turned to YouTube, where I typically go when I want to learn something. And when I looked up woodworkers, I found a guy named Clint Rose who was carving on YouTube. And I've spent a couple days a week since then tuning into a stream and talking with him and watching the things he's carved. And so I was super excited when this past month he announced he had released a children's book. And this book is called The Crashing Bashing Mallet, right? And it is written by Clint and it is illustrated by his brother Late. And this is really neat because the illustrations in the book are very different than those that I see in most children's books because they were made on Blender. And this mallet is actually like the mascot of Clint's channel and involved in a lot of his stream animations. So not only is it a really neat art style, and I'll get more into that in a second, it's kind of reminiscent of books that I read when I was a kid that used like small figures or almost kind of like claymation looking figures to illustrate their books. And I know that, if I was a kid, I would really enjoy looking at the bright colors and shapes as I was learning that symbolic knowledge that's so important for early development, right? Remember that I am a teacher. My wife is an occupational therapist, so we spend a lot of nights talking about child education, and I think this is a fantastic book to help kids learn a couple of concepts. The first thing is that this book deals with the awesome message of learning to work with other people, which is an insanely important skill. I literally just got off a meeting with some schoolmates as we were working on a group project. I work with a team, in my instructional design team, I work with several people that I have to coordinate with and get projects done with. So it's an important lesson. The other thing that I think is really awesome about this book is the fact that Late's illustrations really draw attention to the emotional weight of the book. Like here you can tell just by these simple eyebrow movements and the simple shapes of the eyes what's going on without even reading the words, right? So this is excellent for helping young kids start to internalize emotions and how people can feel in given situations. This can help them begin to recognize what anger looks like and what trepidation or fear looks like, right? And then later in the book, as the lesson is learned, you see a change in those emotions where there's some remorse on the mallet's face and there's some, almost kind of like shocked understanding and some grace given by these characters here to the mallet for the lesson that he learns in the book. So I think it's a really awesome book for young kids to learn those emotions, to learn the lesson of working together. And I wanted to highlight this book because I think a lot of times as adults, we can really undersell just how difficult it is to write a children's book. A lot of times we think writing big, long volumes like The Lord of the Rings or, 7-8 books like Game of Thrones is supposed to have, we can think that that's the more challenging thing, and it certainly is challenging in its own way. It can be just as difficult to contain a really tight thematic message in very few words. If you've ever been assigned something or you've ever written, I've done them in assignments and I've done it myself, like a book review, but that like you would put on the back of a book. If you've ever had to do like a short review of a restaurant and you actually write a quality one, not just, hey, it was pretty good, 5 stars. That can be a really tough writing assignment because you have to be succinct. And I feel like Clint nails it in this book where the rhymes are fun, the emotions are felt, and by the end you fully understand why it's important to work together. I'm not going to read the book to you because Clint already did that, and I will link that video here as well as put some links to Late and Clint's online content. Late makes Blender content on YouTube, Clint streams on Twitch, and also makes content on YouTube. And then last but not least, I will include a link for where you can pick this up. I think it was about $10 on Amazon, and they got it shipped to me in about 2 days. So definitely can't recommend it enough. I love this copy. I'm gonna keep it in my room here in the office so that I can look at it, throughout the week when I just need a little pick-me-up. So awesome. Thanks for tuning in. You could be anywhere. You chose to be here, and I really thank you. That means the world to me, and I can't wait to learn more with you. You all have a great one.